This episode of the Coarse Grind Podcast has been brought to you by Central Sports and Graphics Incorporated, family-owned and operated screen printing and embroidery business located in a historic storefront on Old Berwick Road in the heart of Espy. They've been doing screen printing for over 20 years. They have high-quality product at a low price. Be sure to check them out. Central Sports and Graphics Incorporated, 570-784-1212. Now, on to the show.
Hey, this is David Rosengarten. You're listening to Shawn Rosler on the Coarse Grind Podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This is episode number 75 of the Coarse Grind Podcast. 75 is a very special number, and really, when I think about it, I've been trying to do this for a while, and I'm just going to run with it, so here we go. Let's cut right to the chase. I've been looking for an excuse to run with this one for a long-ass time, and try as I may, the moment was never quite right, but given what day today is, I realize when the episode airs, it'll be late or whatever, and given the fact I actually broke her down to tears with a Mother's Day card this year, it's a true story, sure. I think now is a better time than ever, so let's rock. Culinary background? Nope. Restaurants owned? Negative. Honest to God, any real reason to be on here, aside from the fact that she gave birth to me, and I probably somehow owe her on that, admittedly not. But all that said, there was a counter I sat on, a side I stood by, and a guiding force that, disparate as we may be present day on all matters culinary, made me realize that the care we put into food was care we put into others. So strap your asses in. It's the 75th episode. Ladies and gentlemen, and everyone in between, our guest this evening, the woman that technically somehow literally gave birth to the Coarse Grind Podcast, my mom, Rose Rosler. How's it going, Mom?
You're going to lose a limb.
I'm probably going to lose listeners, let's be fair here. So, lose a limb, lose listeners, I'm good either way. So, but like I said, this is, I'm going on almost 5 years now, and I've been meaning to try to make this happen. So, we're gonna talk food. You good with that?
Oh, sure.
Oh, sure. So, those of you new to the program, those of you with shitty short-term memories like myself, starters, mains, and afters, although as far as formatted questions go, I think those are pretty much right the F out of the window for this evening. So, without further ado, Mom.
What?
Tell me about where and what you grew up eating.
I grew up eating all natural foods, straight from the farm, milk, straight from the cow.
Like, did you strap onto the udder, or did you at least put it in glass like a human being?
No, my father just kind of squeezed the udder, and our mouths were there.
It makes breakfast seem all that more perverse. So, but what else? Tell the listening audience where it was you grew up. You grew up on a farm, right?
What's that?
On a farm, right?
Yeah, there were 4 farms that we lived on.
Mm-hmm.
But best one was Canfield's farm.
Mm-hmm. What exactly made that the best?
Well, it was just a lot of fun there. We got to play around with the animals, and my brother fell in the trough behind the cow and kind of got himself dirty. So,
a shitty situation for all intents and purposes.
Very.
Right.
And our mother would not let us bring him in the house until he got cleaned up.
Oh, fair enough. She kind of let me get away with murder, but you guys were held to a different standard, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Now, growing up, I know from stories that you've told me, and listeners won't know this, things were a little tight. Talk to me about specifics, like what you ate growing up. Like, what meals do you remember?
Well, like you said, it was money was very tight, and there were times when we just kind of had the same meal quite a bit. But we never whined or cried about it. We just ate it, and that was basically, it was a cheap meal, which was spaghetti.
Yeah.
So that was about it.
And so obviously, as far as an eater goes, it wasn't a matter of if you were picky, you didn't have the ability to be picky about anything.
No. Well, we never thought to be picky.
Right.
That's the thing. This was our mother and father working on the farm.
Right.
And, we got the milk from the cows, and, every once in a while we would get some meat from those same cows.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I mean, meat wasn't exactly a staple.
No.
Right? It was more of an option, and the reason I bring that up is because, like, in literature in early Europe, there's a reason why we have words for the animals in the field and on the farm, and words for the animal on our plate, because there was a ruling class, there was a rich class, and then there was the class that farmed the lands and took care of them, and I don't think that's ever fully gone away. Do you?
No. In fact, it's starting to come back.
Yeah, definitely classes, and that's obviously a conversation for another time. But looking back, thinking about that, I'm sure for all the good and fun stories that you've told me about, there's got to be one or two dishes or foods that you remember, and it really creates like a good feeling in you. Is there a specific plate that Grandma Jake? See, I can friggin' say that because this is weird, because I'm talking to my mom and I'm talking about my grandmother that very few people listening, if any, know. But was there anything that like Grandma Jake made that like you loved, that you lived for? I know Grandpa made bread. Well,
Grandpa was more of the cook than Grandma was.
Really?
Yes, he could cook. He was an army cook, so he got to do a lot of meals. But he was good. He was great at making bread. Yeah. It was just like I said. It was just natural food. We would take potatoes, throw a little milk in them, have mashed potatoes, eat asparagus right from the garden.
Mm-hmm.
Everything.
Yeah.
We ate dandelion salad. So.
That's awesome. That's and a lot of people don't realize, dandelions aren't just shitty little weeds that you want to hack off and kill their mothers.
Right. Well,
Sorry, it's Mother's Day. That's hellish of me. But, they're actually quite edible, quite good.
Exactly.
So then it's safe to say that maybe from a cooking perspective, Grandpa was the one that kind of clued you in that cooking was a thing?
Yeah, he was the cook, because with Grandma, if she made biscuits, they turned out to be baseballs.
Nice.
We had a lot of fun with them.
Oh, I'm sure. So this is normally the point in the interview where, I turn it around to, so when did you realize you wanted to own a restaurant? Obviously that didn't happen. But with that said, I would be remiss if I didn't break script here and kind of pull the curtain back and say, and I mention it in the intro and I mean it, here I am with this very amateurish talk show that some people are sympathetic enough to listen to, and I appreciate that for every single one of you. But obviously the culinary arts had an impact on me, and I would be extremely remiss if I didn't identify that it was cooking in the kitchen with you that kind of like put that on me. And obviously, as I part joke, but I'm part serious, we're about as north and south as you can get in the kitchen today. I think that's fair. Although some areas I think we overlap. I think mashed potatoes, we come together. And a good solid gravy, I think we come together on. But pretty much everything else, I think you're Satan and you think I'm Satan, and that's fine. I think it's good to have a rivalry.
I probably eat more of your food than I do of my own.
Well, and I am flattered by that, and you're probably better for it, to be honest. You see what I did there? I just smashed you in an interview.
Yeah,
on Mother's Day, I have no soul. But honestly, whether you realize it or not, and here I'm going to, again, pull the curtain back on air, you made cooking seem like a good idea to me. Like, for example, I remember Dad turning off public television, WVIA, when I would be watching the cooking shows. And I don't think that was per se to discourage it, but I always remember you just let them on. Jeff Smith, Martin Yan, the staples of early WVIA, Julia Child for that matter. And, just to show you how this has come full circle, Mom, I talked to somebody who cooked with Julia Child not 2 episodes ago. So it's a pretty cool thing to bring full circle, but you made that happen for me. So I'm trying to think of how to phrase this, because it's really the most unique question in 75 episodes I've asked, but like, where was it along the way that you kind of broke form? And I don't think you ever truly broke form with, the whole upbringing, limited resources. But I think you kind of stepped away from it and you cooked more than maybe you had growing up. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah.
When was it? Was it just like when you started working with the state and like you and Dad were making a life, or what happened? What made you want to cook more?
Probably as I got older, when I was home with Mom and Dad, is when it kind of actually started, because then I was more of an adult and could do the cooking. Now Dad loved to do the cooking, but he would be there, to help out. Mm-hmm. But he would make chicken and dumplings and the bread and all that stuff.
Well, because Grandpa was in the Army, but you were too, right?
Yeah, but I wasn't a cook.
Right. You were a nurse, but you got some exposure to cultures other than 18431, other than Honesdale.
Oh yeah, definitely. So,
and then
I enjoyed the Army.
Mm-hmm. But is it safe to say you brought back some of those predilections, some of those preferences with you?
You mean as far as food?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I'm not quite sure of what they call it, but it was kind of like a white gravy with hamburger in it, and I'm not quite sure what it's called now, but they used to have, and they would put it over eggs, or they'd put it over rice. This was the way you ate down in the South.
Oh, you're talking sausage gravy. That's what you're talking.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not talking hamburger. Yeah, sausage gravy. I actually just read a recipe for this in Tony Bourdain's cookbook, Appetites. And it's funny because they show a picture of Eric Repair, who, I don't think you're going to know who he is, and that's okay. I don't think a lot of people. So Eric Repair is a Michelin star chef, French chef, fantastic culinary persona, and he and Anthony Bourdain are friends, so I guess Bourdain took him down south, and here's this French guy with a high-end palate, and the picture in the book is of Repair with sausage gravy on his chin, and the description of the picture says, giving... and I'm going to butcher this, but buy the book and read it if you want to. Giving sausage gravy to a Frenchman is like giving a dog a grape. They can't quite figure out whether to chew it or spit it out. And it really is true. But that sausage gravy, that's not something like we have. Well, the military has shit on a shingle.
Yeah, well, that's what it was. That was what it was called.
No.
Say that.
Shit on a shingle is chipped beef on toast. Sausage gravy.
Yeah, but we also had sausage gravy.
Yeah, sausage gravy is phenomenal. Red eye gravy, they just calf it up a little bit. But yeah. So you must have brought some of that back with you, and so you started cooking more for them, with them. And I almost think it's kind of like when I went to college and I started to... explore my culinary persona, and I think I started to cook a little more when I came home. So obviously you've cooked. You've cooked for me. You cooked every morning, breakfast for me, every morning. Even when I was in college, here's yet another curtain pull, leaving me out grapefruit juice and oatmeal, which in retrospect is an awful combination, Mom. I love you dearly. But, I mean, anything milk with grapefruit, I really should have just, but it worked. And I think that gets back to the source of the food. Like, it almost doesn't matter what it is. It's the fact that it is.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah? So.
Yeah, even the first meal that you made.
Oh, here we go. Let's have it. Now, all right, here. Let me brace everybody for this. This story is easily, if I'm 41, and I was 5 then? About. This is going to be a 36-year-old story, so go ahead, Mom. Paint the scene, please.
Oh, no. Please tell me.
No, it's your show now. I'm
Shawn?
stepping back. Go ahead.
What all was in it? I'm trying to think.
But explain where this was conjured up. I mean, this was in a culinary science lab, right?
Yeah, it was. My kitchen.
And it was with Grandma Jake the first time in her kitchen.
No, you did it. You did it right in our house.
That was the second time. I made it with Grandma first. That was where I test piloted it.
Oh, okay.
Yes, because then you came and got me because I think you were working. Grandma was watching me, but tell everybody what was in it. Because I can't freaking remember.
You're the one that made the dish.
I can't. That was 5. Cut the shit. You remember better than me at this point.
Well, let me think now. I think there were...
Hey, you were 5 years old. Tell me the E equals MC squared. What?
I think you had breadcrumbs and whatever. I'm not quite sure.
I remember... all right, breadcrumbs, check. Celery, check.
Celery. That's what I'm thinking of.
And then there was... Because it wasn't breadcrumbs, it was croutons. It was croutons in the can. What the hell kind were they? Because they had like little bacon bit flecks in them.
Well,
it was some kind of salad topping where it had little croutons and the bacon bits.
It was called croutons.
There was some brand name for it because I remember it was in like a red tube. People, if you're listening, comment with the name because it's going to kill me until I know. But it was that. It was celery. And I think she let me use a little bacon grease in the bottom of the pan.
Yes.
And
this was your idea.
Yeah, at 5. So, clearly I was either getting stoned at 5 and thought this was a good dish, or I was just creative.
And I remember warning your father that he better not make a face when he eat it.
Yeah, because I remember making it then, like, trying to recreate it. I remember doing that because actually, if I think about it, I think it was like the bagged little mini stuffing cubes at Grandma Jake's. But then when I came home, it was that salad topping stuff because you had that. And boy,
yeah, it was croutons and celery, and I thought it was good myself.
This is almost like therapy though, because if you think. I have to wonder if that's what... Because I wasn't watching cooking shows at that point.
Yes, you were.
No, not that early. Not that early. Like, we're talking 5 years old. I really started hooking into that at, like, 6, 7, 8. So I wasn't even... I have to wonder, Mom, if that was the push, like, that you gave me. And by threatening Dad as well. Strong move there. Thank you. Not that you've ever given up on doing that, but that's awesome now.
No.
Wow. So from Celery Surprise, that was the name of it, right?
Celery Surprise.
Celery Surprise. Surprise! It don't taste a damn thing like celery. On down the line, like that's...
I would eat it again.
Well, I'll try to make it, but I'll probably end up putting some kind of truffle reduction or something in it because I don't know.
Don't spoil it.
Don't spoil the pre-processed canned croutons
right.
by all means. So and that's the thing, and that's why actually earlier today I said to Gret, I said, I've got a great idea. She goes, what? I said, I'm not telling you. And it was to call up and do this because I think for as many episodes as I've done, the vast majority, I would say 70% plus, have their mom as their culinary inspiration. And while, like I said, maybe I've gone a little more what would be considered mainstream, and you've kind of kept to your own, those fundamental elements, I will always remember, probably more than any other item in that kitchen, the yellow Tupperware bowl that we made cakes in.
Oh.
The batter. Because I knew as soon as that mother ever came out, I was going to get to lick that bowl. At some God-given point, that was going to be my destiny.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah,
and then
always got the bowl.
Secondary to that bowl was the cake pan. The beat up. Do you still have that?
I still have it.
Is it still? And I'm trying to think of how to explain it. It's just a beat up cake pan that just doesn't die.
Well, it was actually from your great grandmother. So, it just kind of went down the line.
That's crazy.
That was it.
That's crazy. But there are so many, and I know, and here, let's just air this out, because this is where it first got aired out, about your baptism of Brussels sprouts that you do. Throw them in a pot and basically boil the hell out of them.
No, I don't.
You
I
have,
don't, people. I don't.
You have historically. Now let's have it out right here, right now. We're talking early on. Now lately, I think you've gotten your head on straight, and you're making them a little better than you did. But I think there was a time, and maybe it was to get me to eat them as a kid, where you just made them soft as anything in that white and red gingham pot. You know the one I'm talking about?
Uh-huh.
I remember that, because, I mean, you leave me, you'd be like, all right, cool, we'll catch you in 2 days. And by that point in time, they were soft enough for me to eat them. Otherwise, I was sitting at that table. And I remember that, and I'm glad Brussels sprouts are experiencing a resurgence. I know that you had just an incredible experience with them when we were up in Chatham.
Oh, yeah.
What were they like again? Remind me what was all on them.
Oh, my God, they were the best I've ever had.
Now let's paint this scene, too. We go into this wonderful restaurant in Chatham, and Captain Steve, if you're listening, this is down the other side of town. Down past, there was a used bookstore right across the street from it. I don't know the exact location. But anyway, we go into this very well put together restaurant. And what do you order, Mom? What do you order for, like, dinner?
I ordered Brussels sprouts.
Yeah, a double order. A double order of the Brussels sprouts.
Yeah. Yeah. And I thought that it was just going to be, like a small dish.
And what came out, Mom?
Huh?
What came out?
Well, let's put it this way. When I said to the waiter, I said, how much is on the plate? Well, it's okay. It's okay. And I said, well, how big is the plate? And he didn't really know how big the plate was. So I said, all right, give me 2 servings. So he comes out with 2 servings of Brussels sprouts. And it was probably over a foot long.
So just so people can understand it, everybody listening, extend your left arm and measure from your elbow to the tip of your middle finger. That's about the size of the plate. That's not exaggeration. Like, it was no bullshit. Like, it had to have been like 2 pounds, 2 solid pounds of Brussels sprouts.
At least they were delicious. And I would certainly get them again if I went to that restaurant.
Would try again. You heard it here. So, but yeah, I kind of just wanted to express to people, because a lot of times I will get asked, well, what made you interested in cooking? What made you interested in food? And I can cite a lot of different things, but I think without those early on experiences, like the fact that I can remember, that I could draw from memory, I could give it to a criminal sketch artist, and I might not remember faces, places, stuff like that, but I could remember that bowl, that pan, that pot that you made those Brussels sprouts in. Food was always. I remember you making Dad cream of mushroom soup and a grilled cheese.
Yep.
When he would work at the liquor store, and you want to talk about legit grilled cheese, people. I don't know, Mom, if you've gotten away from making them, but my mom used to make them.
I have the grandkids now that I make them for.
That's right. You got to make them for them, because God knows they'll starve if you don't. But my mom made grilled cheeses, and I wish I was into them now that I know, like, all there is to know about grilled cheeses, like, in the bottom broiler drawer of our oven. And they came out looking spectacular every time, now that I think about it.
Yep.
So, I don't know. That's just, the more I thought about it today, and the more I looked around, the more I, kicked around the idea of an episode, I'm like, I gotta have my mom on. Today's the best possible day to have you on to talk about it. So there's all the history for everyone that wanted to know. There's all the bringing it up to current state, and that's fine. All the mushy shit out of the way. So let's talk today, 2018, Mom. Obviously, you're still eating, and that's good. Good job there.
How can you tell I'm eating?
No, I'm saying in general you're still eating. Otherwise, you'd be dead.
Oh,
so,
okay.
there's that. So you go out to eat. You and Dad go out here and there, and you probably see like trendy foods and that kind of thing. You know, stuff that people push forward.
Dad takes me.
Well, all right. Listen, I don't want to pay for therapy here, so keep that shit out of the airways. But like, is there anything that you see either on TV or in restaurants or in stores that like comes across as trendy that you just really think is stupid? Like just not a good thing?
Food-wise?
Yeah, food-wise.
Oh. Yeah, you know, well, it's not necessarily what the food is, but how, when I watch a food show, how they put it on the plate. It just doesn't make sense to layer the food.
So you don't like high plates? You don't like the stuff that's like sky high?
No. I just want a regular plate, everything separate, boom, 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 boom. That's it.
All right, so like fancy plating. Let's just call it that. Layered plates or fancy plating.
Okay.
No place for it with you, right? Yeah. Is there something going on food-wise that you like, that you're glad to see? Like something you're able to do now in 2018 that you weren't, say, 5 years ago? Something you're able to get, do, eat, taste?
Well, I eat tofu now, too.
Right, but
a lot of different things. A lot of different things I'm willing to try.
And you think those have gotten more accessible now with more information?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because you have a nice little health food store now. You know, growing up when I was in high school, it was there, and it's still there today, right? Nature's Grace?
Right. Jamie Stunker's place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so tell everybody about that. Like, if you're driving through Honesdale and you need to fix on something that an animal didn't die to make, where should they go?
Okay. There's no meat involved in this little place. They have things like I just forgot the name of the thing. My Mexican food.
Your burrito.
Yep.
Your enchilada. Yep. Enchilada, sorry.
Yes.
Yeah.
He makes those. He makes it very, very good.
And again, it's all vegetarian?
It's all vegetarian.
Yeah.
So I do like eating that way.
Yeah.
So, but I also, my other main thing is the homemade cooking.
Yeah.
You know, the mashed potatoes with the we'll say the corn on the cob and all that.
So, and really, to be fair, that kind of home style farm to table element is in vogue right now.
Exactly.
People want that. People are looking for that because, like you said about the layered plates, about the the high plates, the annoyingly pretentious plates. You know, they're kind of going away. Fine dining itself, I wouldn't say it's a rarity, and I would still say it still has a place, but I don't know that it's necessarily hanging around as much.
Yeah,
so.
I just can't see having a plate and putting corn on the bottom and then some mashed potatoes right on top of the corn and then maybe some meat. You know, it just doesn't make sense to me.
Well, to be fair, if we're layering plates, Mom, we're probably not doing corn and mashed potatoes on it either. We're probably going a little higher end than that, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Jesus Christ, it's going off the rails, people. Going off the rails. Cool.
No, I will stick to my homemade stuff. The box stuff, nah, don't want it. So.
No. And that's something, again, to kind of toot your horn for you, because God knows you won't do it yourself. I didn't get raised on boxed mac and cheese and shit like that. I actually wanted that processed stuff, which is crazy to me now to think, because now I'm, granted, we give the kids mac and cheese, but, we do it here and there. It's not the staple that they're growing up on. And I do think that between Gret's parents and, my parents, because even Dad, on his day off, his day off was Monday, right? And he would always grill, and he would always make something with it.
Uh-huh.
And so there again, not to get into gender roles, but, it was never really laid on me that, oh, you're a boy, you can't cook. What are you going to be, some kind of woman?
Oh, no.
It was instilled in me early on. So again, I have you to thank for that. So, all right. Anyway, I'm getting back into the mushy stuff, and I didn't want to do that. So let's cut that shit out right now, please.
Yeah, I'm not doing it.
You
so
are
why-
doing
why
it.
are
You started.
doing
You were crying at my cards, so you shut up. All right. So we'll transition. We've kind of done the starters, kind of done the mains. I'm looking down my questions. I'm like, yeah, nope, that's not happening. But the after is a little bit more fun, a little bit more theoretical, and I cannot wait to hear your answer to a couple of these. I'm standing in your kitchen. Yeah, I typically ask professionally or at home, but this is going to be at home because you don't have a professional kitchen. What music do you have playing?
Oh, rock and roll.
What kind?
Rock and roll.
Slayer?
Huh?
Metallica?
No.
Dead
we
Kennedys?
We were listening 50s and 60s music.
50s and 60s music.
Yeah.
Old-timey
Yeah.
radio. All right.
And you liked it.
Here we go.
You actually called the radio station.
Yeah, you know why? Because I won a gold coin from them out of a contest.
No, you got a cup from them.
Huh?
You got a cup from them.
I got a cup, but I got a gold coin that's now worth... I looked it up the other day. It went from being worth like $58 then to worth like $200 today. So
Oh, really?
I guess it valued. I'm kind of proud of that.
Well, why don't you give it back to me, and I'll take it to the bank and see how much it is.
Yeah, no, that's not happening. Just take my word on it. I'll give you $5. I'll tell you it's worth $5. How about that?
Sure.
We're good there? All right. The next question typically is, how's your mouth in the kitchen using the movie rating scale? We know you're the saint and I'm the sinner in the kitchen. We know, much to your dismay, I use the F word like a comma when I'm cooking. So, and that's on me. I guess I'm just an embarrassment to you. I apologize.
Oh, yeah.
I don't really apologize at all. No. But we know your mouth is G, so good for you. Good for you, Mom. Well done.
Oh, thanks.
Glad you show such control. All right. You're going to be stranded on a deserted island. Go with me. And I know, Dad, if you're listening, I apologize. It's not for real. I couldn't make it happen. Sorry. But you're going to be stranded on a deserted island. And you're only allowed to take 3 foods or food type items with you. It'll be an inexhaustible supply, but only 3. What would they be and why?
Oh, probably fruit.
Now, what kind of fruit? You can't say fruit. That's a shitty answer. You can't do that.
Granny apples.
Granny apples. I knew that.
Wow. Let me think. Oh, carrots. Raw carrots.
What are you, a horse? Here you go. Come on, Seabiscuit.
No, I like
Let's go to the
raw
island.
What can I say?
All right.
And what else? What else would I have? I don't know.
You gotta have a protein of some kind.
You mean meat-wise?
As opposed to legumes. Yes, meat-wise. Shit. Here it is. This is the swan song for the podcast right here.
Okay. A piece of chicken.
Now, a chicken, or just chicken. Chicken's fine. You can say that.
Chicken.
All right, fine. So, granny apples, carrots, and chicken.
Yeah.
Might be a sleeper. You don't want to know what I answered. You want to know what I answered?
No.
Beer, bourbon, and beef.
Beer, bourbon, and beef.
Because, listen, I'm on an
beer.
island. What's it going to matter if I die? I'm not going anywhere.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
My colon will be a mess by the time I go, but, whatever.
Yeah.
Do I care? No.
No.
Not at that point. Not at that point. All right. Next question. And this is somewhat based on the inspiration for the show. There's an author, Melanie Denea. I should say author/photographer extraordinaire. And she did 2 coffee table books. My Last Supper and The Next Course. Each one has 50 celebrity chefs or food personas in them, a picture of them or pictures, and a standard set of questions. And they all revolve around one thing. Your check's getting cashed the very next day. You're gone.
What?
You're going to die. What is your last supper?
What is my last supper?
What would you eat? What would you drink? Who would be there?
Well, I'd probably be by myself. And what would I have to not? Well, same thing. Probably same meal.
What meal?
The carrots.
The one you'd have on a deserted
no,
island?
no.
It's going to be your last goddamn... You can have anything, and you're asking for...
All right. Give me an old-fashioned plate of food.
Okay, like what?
mashed potatoes and gravy,
Jesus
homemade gravy, and we'll say a piece of chicken and a salad.
Holy shit. Any dressing on that salad, ma'am?
No, sir.
Oh my god. That might be the worst answer ever. What are you drinking? At least give me something to go on here, please.
That's just it. I'm not drinking.
You're gonna die! What the hell? Oh god. So for any of you aspiring podcasters out there, never interview your mother. Come on, seriously. What are you gonna have to drink?
What am I going to have to drink? Okay. I like beer.
What kind of beer? Come on, go with me. Give me something. Oh, I know what it's gonna be
what's
too.
The beer that I always drink?
Oh Jesus, I ain't giving it to you.
I'm not a big drinker either.
I know you're not.
So anyway, a beer.
What kind? Tell you what. How about the one you had at the Sealands Grove Brew Pub?
What was that?
The French Lager.
Oh God, that did me in.
What are you gonna care? You're gonna die.
Oh well. Okay. All right. I would have that again.
All right.
I had a good time with it.
See, I'm helping you out here. I'm gonna give your last meal a facelift. So you're saying mashed potatoes and gravy. Is it the mashed potatoes that I put the Boursin cheese in this last time?
No.
They were all thick.
Good old homemade mashed potatoes.
Talk to me about the chicken. Do something with it. What kind? Like a good roast chicken, fried chicken?
A roast chicken.
Roast. Okay. With like butter, garlic. Yeah.
Like with the basil and...
No!
dill
No, you're
and...
killing me. Oh, God.
Hey, you live down there, and I live here. I can eat the way I want.
I'm trying to help you die with dignity here. Shit. Holy shit. All right, fine. And at least that... I can't even dignify the salad. I'm like, oh, salad, great. You eat a salad because you want to live. Like, if you're gonna die, who gives a shit about the salad?
I like a margarita.
Hey, there we go. It's a French lager margarita as an after. There you go. Amaretto sour after the margarita, ma'am. Sure.
Sure.
Oh, there's my girl. Now, Mom's talking. Anything for dessert, Mom?
No dessert.
God.
No dessert.
Oh, man.
Should I make up one?
Yeah, go nuts, by all means.
No. I just am not into desserts.
Oh, God. All right. So, and you're going to eat that alone?
To really enjoy my meal, yeah, probably.
Because if I was there, I'd be judging you the whole time.
I know you would.
Why? Why are you
But
eating
I would I would be able to take my time.
Oh, God.
To eat,
Yes, Mother. I know. So.
The hour at the supper table.
Just alone, eating your roast chicken, and
sitting by myself,
slopping your French lager and margarita.
I would die happy.
Yes, you would. Yes, you would.
Or for that matter, with 2 drinks, I'd probably be dead.
You'd be done already. You kind of beat them to the punch, so joke's on them. Right.
Yeah.
All right. And finally, last question, Mother. What is food to you in a single word? Survival. True story. Without it, we're kind of screwed, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right.
Doesn't have to be fancy.
No, I'd agree. I'd agree. I think there's a beautiful element to simplicity that I think some people overlook. I think there's a time to be fancy, but no, I think that might be an astute observation on your part.
Yes, thank you.
Mother. So, you're welcome. You're welcome, Mom. Well done.
Oh, well, I didn't say thank you.
Oh, I thought you said thank you.
No.
Well, the hell with you then. All right. So that brings us to the end of the interview, Mom.
Whoa, wow.
I'd ask you what you're plugging, but it's not like you're opening a restaurant anytime soon. So you're good there.
No.
Anything going on in Honesdale people should know about coming up?
No.
You hear that? I'm giving the whole town. I'm giving the 18431 a little bit of some airspace here. So, Rose Rosler, do with it as you will.
Well, it's just a small town.
It is a small town, but it is undergoing some wonderful Renaissance action. And be sure to check it out because, joke as we might have in high school about getting away from it, I think myself and many others like me think about that town with a fondness. And I think it all rolls back to growing up and having parents like we did. So I'm certainly no exception to that rule. So, Mom, in all seriousness, I appreciate you setting me on the path to understanding food the way I do today, and I appreciate that you took the time where now being a parent and hearing many stories, I know that a lot of other people don't do that for their kids, and especially in the day and age where it wasn't as popular, it wasn't all Food Networkified and so on and so forth. You took the time to do it, and you always took the time to show me. So I appreciate it. I love you, and happy Mother's Day.
Thank you very much. I love you too.
You're welcome, Mom. So, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. Episode number 75 with special guest, my mom, Rose Rosler. Still up in Honesdale. Check out Honesdale. It's beautiful front to back. Lots of stuff to do there, so check it out. My producer this evening has been the lovely and voluptuous Johnny Leland Robinson, a.k.a. the Reverend Johnny Lamoria. Be sure to check out all his things artistic, steampunk, and libertarian in also the Dale of the Hones. And next episode, number 76, we're going to be circling back to some old favorites, so stay tuned. It's going to be good.